Ferrari is not arriving in Austria with a normal upgrade package. They are arriving with a monster in pieces, and if those pieces finally connect, the entire front of Formula One could change. Mercedes still has the power advantage. McLaren still has the balance. Red Bull still wants to believe Ferrari is dangerous but not complete. But that belief may be about to break. Ferrari is bringing aggressive aerodynamics, stronger hybrid energy management, reliable running, and an engine development path aimed at a power gap believed to be around 25 horsepower to Mercedes. That means Austria is not just another race. It is the first real test of whether Ferrari's unfinished car is still missing something, or whether the monster is already waking up. Hamilton needs stability to turn race pace into pressure. Leclerc needs sharpness to turn qualifying into a weapon. And if Ferrari gives both drivers what they need, the rest of the grid may discover that the red car was not being overhyped. It was being underestimated. Subscribe to the channel. To understand why Ferrari's arrival in Austria feels so dangerous, you have to look past the headline. Because this is not just about upgrades. Every team brings upgrades. Every team talks about new parts. Every team believes the next package could unlock something. But Ferrari's situation is different. Ferrari is not bringing random performance. Ferrari is trying to connect the exact pieces that were missing from the car. And when a team starts connecting pieces, the rivals stop asking whether the upgrade is new. They start asking whether the car is becoming complete. That is the word Mercedes, McLaren, and Red Bull will not want to hear. Complete. Because for most of this story, Ferrari's weakness has been clear. The red car had promise but not the full answer. It had traction but still needed more power. It had aerodynamic ambition but still had to prove stability. It had hybrid strength, but still needed to show that the whole package could survive pressure across a full weekend. That gave rivals comfort. Mercedes could say Ferrari was close, but still behind on engine performance. McLaren could say Ferrari was dangerous but still not balanced enough. Red Bull could say Ferrari had potential, but still needed too many things to go right. That was the safe version of the story. But Austria may be where the safe version starts to fall apart. Because Ferrari is arriving with upgrades that attack the weakness from more than one direction. That is what makes this package feel like a monster in pieces. The first piece is aerodynamics. Ferrari has been pushing an aggressive concept designed to make the car more efficient. In simple terms, that means they want more grip in the corners without paying too much of a price on the straights. They want the car to stick when the driver turns, then cut through the air when the driver accelerates. That balance is incredibly difficult. It is like trying to wear a heavy winter coat that somehow becomes light when you start running. In corners, Ferrari wants the coat. On straights, Ferrari wants it gone. That is the idea behind the aggressive aerodynamic direction. The car needs downforce when Hamilton and Leclerc are asking for confidence, but it cannot drag too much air behind it when Mercedes is already stronger in pure power. If Ferrari gets that balance right in Austria, the power gap becomes less painful. And that is the second piece, the engine. Ferrari's power deficit to Mercedes has been one of the main talking points. Around 25 horsepower is not a small detail. It changes setup choices. It changes race strategy. It changes how confidently a driver can defend or attack. But the important part is not only the number. The important part is what Ferrari is doing about it. The upgrade path ahead of Austria is aimed directly at reducing that weakness. And if Ferrari can reduce even part of the gap, the rest of the car starts to open up. That is why rivals should worry. A little more power can give Ferrari more freedom with wing levels. A little more power can make Hamilton's race pace harder to break. A little more power can give Leclerc more protection after a strong qualifying lap. A little more power can stop Mercedes from relaxing at the end of the straights. That is how small gains become big problems. Because Formula One is not just about adding speed. It is about removing compromise. And Ferrari has been living with compromise. If they add grip, they risk drag. If they cut drag, they risk instability. If they protect tires, they risk losing attack. If they chase attack, they risk race fade. The engine upgrade is important because it may reduce the number of painful choices Ferrari has to make. And fewer painful choices means a more dangerous car. That brings us to the third piece, hybrid energy management. This is not the kind of phrase that sounds emotional, but it can decide a race. The electrical part of the power unit has become a huge part of performance. It is not enough to have energy. The car must use it at exactly the right time. Think of it like having a limited amount of strength during a sprint. Use it too early and you fade before the line. Save it too long and you never attack. Ferrari has been described as strong in the way it manages energy across the lap. That matters in Austria because the track is built around exits and acceleration. The car needs power at the exact moment the driver straightens the wheel and launches toward the next braking zone. If Ferrari deploys energy cleanly, the car becomes harder to attack. If it deploys energy intelligently, Hamilton can stay close for longer. If it deploys energy at the perfect moment, Leclerc can turn a strong corner exit into a serious threat. This is where the monster begins to connect. Aerodynamics help the car move through the air. The engine upgrade helps reduce the power weakness. Hybrid management helps deliver the performance at the exact moment it matters. Traction helps put that performance into the ground. And that is the fourth piece: traction. At Austria, traction is not optional. It is survival. Before, if Ferrari lost too much down the straight, Hamilton's pressure could disappear no matter how well he managed the corners. He could do everything right and still end up too far back to force a decision. But if the power deficit shrinks even a little, the pressure zone gets longer. The Mercedes ahead cannot relax as early. The McLaren ahead cannot assume the Ferrari will fade. The Red Bull ahead cannot count on one strength saving the lap. That is how an upgrade becomes psychological. It changes what the driver in front believes is safe. And once safety disappears, mistakes become more likely. Leclerc brings a different kind of uncertainty. With Leclerc, the threat is immediate. If Ferrari gives him the sharpness he needs, he can make a qualifying session uncomfortable in a way few drivers can. He does not need the car to be perfect everywhere. He needs enough response at the front, enough rotation through the middle of the corner, and enough engine protection on the straights to make the lap hold together. That is the key phrase: hold together. Leclerc can create magic in the corners, but the lap still has to survive the full circuit. If Ferrari lacks power, the lap can look brilliant early and still bleed time later. If the setup is too trimmed out, the car can lose the bite he needs. If the balance is too safe, the lap loses its edge. The upgrades may help Ferrari escape that trap. More engine support can allow more corner confidence. Better hybrid delivery can help the exits. Improved aerodynamic efficiency can protect the straights without sacrificing as much grip. If those pieces connect, Leclerc becomes a qualifying threat that Mercedes cannot easily model. Because Leclerc on a sharp Ferrari is not predictable. He can turn a small setup window into a front row problem. He can make rivals second guess whether they have enough margin. He can force teams to change tire preparation, out-lap timing, and track position strategy because the red car suddenly looks alive. That matters in Austria because qualifying can shape everything. Track position at this circuit can decide how aggressive a team can be. Starting ahead can protect tire strategy. Starting behind can force a team into risk. And if the gaps are tight, one Ferrari starting in the wrong place for Mercedes can distort the entire race. That is why the Ferrari package feels so dangerous. Hamilton threatens the long game. Leclerc threatens the first strike. The engine upgrade supports both. The aerodynamics connect both. The traction feeds both. The reliability has to protect both. That is the monster Ferrari is trying to assemble. But the risk is still there. And this is where Ferrari must be careful. Because the same upgrades that make the car more dangerous can also make it more fragile if the team pushes too far. An aggressive aerodynamic package can create balance sensitivity. More power can create heat. More heat can demand cooling changes. Cooling changes can hurt the airflow. A sharper setup for Leclerc can hurt race tire life. A calmer setup for Hamilton can reduce qualifying bite. This is why Austria will not be a simple celebration of upgrades. It will be a stress test. Ferrari has to prove the package is not only fast when everything is perfect. It has to be usable when the wind changes, when the tires wear, when the fuel load changes, when the car is following another car, when the drivers are fighting instead of running clean laps. That is the difference between a promising upgrade and a real front-running package. A promising upgrade produces excitement. A real package produces repeatable performance. Ferrari needs the second one. Because if the car is only fast and flashes, Mercedes will survive it. McLaren will read it. Red Bull will attack the weakness. Rivals at the front are too good to fear a car that only appears for moments. Ferrari needs consistency. That is why the reliability foundation matters again. If the car completes the program cleanly, Ferrari can understand what the upgrades are doing. If the engine behaves, the team can push the maps more confidently. If the hybrid deployment stays stable, the drivers can trust the power delivery. If the aero balance remains predictable, Hamilton and Leclerc can both lean into their strengths. The monster only becomes real if Ferrari can control it. And that is what the whole paddock will be watching. Not just the fastest lap. Not just the speed trap. Not just the headline upgrade. They will be watching how the car behaves when the easy conditions disappear. Does Hamilton still look comfortable after the tires begin to age? Does Leclerc still trust the front end when the track gets hotter? Does the Ferrari still deploy energy cleanly when it has to defend? Does the straight line gap to Mercedes shrink enough to matter? Does the car remain reliable when Ferrari asks more from it? Each answer will reveal something. And if too many answers are positive, the rest of the grid will understand the real danger. Ferrari has not simply brought upgrades to Austria. Ferrari may have brought the first version of a car that can fight in more than one way. That is when the championship picture starts to move. Because the most dangerous teams are not always the ones with the single biggest advantage. They are the teams with options. Options in setup. Options in strategy. Options between drivers. Options between qualifying and race pace. Options between attack and patience. Ferrari is trying to create options. And for a team that has spent too much time trapped by compromise, that may be the biggest upgrade of all. A faster Ferrari is a problem. A more powerful Ferrari is a problem. But a Ferrari with options, Hamilton on one side, Leclerc on the other, and a package that finally begins to connect, is something much harder to contain.